Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to The Blind Life. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Esight 4. So I've got a lot to cover here, guys. I'm going to be going quickly. I apologize. I'm not going to get into too much detail about any particular feature just because this new Esight 4 can do so many different things. I'll try to touch on everything, all the important stuff anyways. If you need more information, I will have the contact information in the description down below. Okay, so what is the Esight 4? Basically, it's a brand new wearable digital video magnifier that is designed for individuals with low vision. Its basic function is, as I said, digital magnification. You can also do color filters. It has these customized built-in scenes. So like indoor, outdoor, watching television, that sort of thing. That is its basic function, but it does a ton more. And we're going to get into that here today. First, let's start with what comes in the box. Then we will talk about the device and its features. We're also going to have a chat with one of the US distributors of the Esight 4, who is also a user. And then at the end, we'll come back, I'll give you my opinions about the Esight 4 and let you know what I think. In the box, you get this very nice hard case here that holds the Esight 4. You also get a strap for the case, as well as a quick start guide and the manual. In the case, you will find the Esight 4. You'll also find a remote control, 2 batteries, and a charging cable and charging plug. I think that's it. Yeah, that's everything you get. Before I get to the Esight itself, I want to talk about these batteries, because these batteries are very unique in a couple different ways. Number one is they're reversible. So it doesn't matter which way you put the battery in, it's going to work. That's pretty cool right off the bat. Then if you're curious how much power you've got in the battery, if you just give it a shake on the bottom, the lights will light up indicating how much battery, how much juice you've got in there. And talking about power, the batteries will last on a full charge, it will last about 3 hours. Also, the Esight itself has a built-in internal battery. And that battery will last about, on a full charge, will last about 15 to 30 minutes. But the main purpose of that battery is so that you don't have to power down the Esight when you're swapping your external batteries. If you need more power than the batteries can provide themselves, on the side here you've got a USB Type-C port. This will allow you to plug in the provided USB Type-C cable and theoretically power the device indefinitely. Okay, so I want to spend some time talking about the design of the new Esight 4. This is a departure from the previous designs, and it's definitely an improvement in my opinion. I've tried them all. I tried Esight 1, I tried Esight 3. I guess I didn't try Esight 2. Was there even an Esight 2? If there was, I didn't get to try that one, but I've tried the other two. And this is by far my favorite design out of the previous models. Number one, it's completely wireless. If you're familiar with Esight 3, you were tethered to a control box with that device. There was a wire coming out and the battery and the controls were all in a little box. So with the Esight 4, they've gotten rid of that. Everything is wireless. They've gone with this halo design. So the halo sits on your head and it kind of sits at an angle. The front of the halo should be right around your hairline, and the back of the halo that has the battery compartment should be down low, kind of right above your neck. And this allows it to sit very comfortably, and it evenly distributes the weight, especially with the battery in the back. Then the visor section here pivots down, and even the front section of the visor, the glasses here where the screens are, this angles as well. So you've got multiple points of adjustment on this headset. And in fact, I count five different ways to adjust the headset. The first one is the halo, the size of the halo. In the front here, you've got a dial, and you can dial this halo smaller or larger. Then you've got the visor arm, pivots up and down. And we're going to talk more about that, the importance of that here in a second. Then the screens here angle, they kind of pivot as well. The fourth adjustment is there's dials on the side of the visor arm that will allow you to bring the visor closer to your eyes or further away. And this really helps a lot with customizing it for your needs. So for me personally, I can get a much clearer image if I bring this pretty close to my eyes. And then the final adjustment is the screens here. The screens will actually slide. So if someone's eyes are set a little wider apart, you can slide those screens out or bring them in. Really set it to the perfect spot for you. Okay, a little bit about the electronics and the controls of the Esight 4. You have 3 different ways to control the device. You have some on-board controls. There's buttons and a swipe pad here on the device itself. You also, as I said, you get a remote in the case, and this is going to give you a lot more flexibility with controlling the device. You'll be able to do a lot more using the remote. The remote is paired by Bluetooth. It's already paired. You don't have to do it. It's paired before you even get the Esight. And then the third way is by using a smartphone. There's a brand new app, the Esight app for the Esight 4, and this, in my opinion, is kind of what sets it apart from its competitors and also unlocks just really, really cool possibilities. We'll talk more about the app here in a minute. The camera on the Esight is an 18 megapixel and the screens are 1280 by 960. Another really nice feature is that there's a built-in narrator. So this has a very impressive array of customizable options, but you need to access those through the menu, some menu systems. Depending on your level of vision, it may be difficult to read those menus on the screens. But it's no problem because, as I said, she reads everything out loud to you. All right, we are in live mode here. I'm going to use the controls on the side here to zoom in and zoom out. There are tactile bumps all along the visor arm here, and they kind of converge into a touchpad. So it's easy to find just by feel. And I'm going to swipe forwards, which is going to increase magnification. And you can hear the voice there. Now I'm going to swipe back towards my ear, and that's going to decrease.
8x, 6x, 4x.
If I swipe up and down right now in the current mode, it's going to increase and decrease contrast.
Decrease contrast. Increase contrast.
Now I'm going to long press this context button here, and that's going to get me into the filters.
Switching to modes filters.
Now if I swipe,
Normal. Custom 2. Custom 1. TV theater. Reading. Outdoor.
so I find the one that I want, and then I can tap on the touchpad to choose it. So that's really nice. It's very convenient to have that function, that control here on the headset. But really, you're going to want to try and use the remote as much as possible because it's just so much easier to do this with the remote. I'm just going to use the directional pad on the remote to cycle through some of these options.
Increase contrast. 52. Decrease contrast. 50. Zoom in. 3x.
You have the different modes, as I said before, outside, TV. They all have different functionality and settings that apply to those situations. You also have your reading color filters, and this is going to be inverted, white on black, black on white, all of those color filters that are really helpful for a lot of us when it comes to reading text or printed material. As I mentioned before, you have a lot of customization. So increasing contrast, increasing brightness, turning on or off autofocus, and even some of the modes can be customized. Since we got the remote, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the extra things you can do with it. You can use the remote to increase or decrease the narrator volume. You can use that to take a picture. So yes, you can actually take pictures and record video with the Esight. It actually has a built-in gallery where you can access those pictures. You can take a picture and save it to the gallery, but there's some times where you just want to get a quick freeze frame so you can read something. Well, you can do that as well. If you long press the picture button, it will simply freeze frame and not save it to the gallery. Then you can use the device just by moving your head. You can look around the frozen image, and then long pressing the same button again gets rid of the image, doesn't save it. One really cool feature that you can do with the remote is the find feature. Now, if you're familiar with digital magnifiers, you've probably seen this before. The find feature allows you to zoom out of your magnification so that you can see more of the scene in front of you. And then you center your point of interest, and when you let go, it zooms back in again. It's a really helpful feature, so it's really cool that they've added it to the Esight 4. One last feature of the Esight 4 that I wanted to talk about before we jump into the app is the e-reader. So yes, they've actually included an e-reader into the Esight. Now, as of the recording of this video, it only reads PDF files. If anybody is familiar with screen readers, they struggle with PDFs. So it's really cool that you can load one onto your device and have it read it out loud to you. Sign in. I gotta sign in. No, I don't. I don't have to sign in. All right. It automatically signed me in. Good. Okay, guys, next let's talk about the app, the Esight app, and talk about all the really, really cool and entertaining features this adds to the Esight 4. So first of all, I'll say that this app is available both on iOS and Android. It's the same, virtually the same on both devices, so no problems there. Also, it works really well with your built-in smartphone accessibility. So on iOS, VoiceOver, on Android, TalkBack. So once you are signed on to your Wi-Fi with your Esight 4, and also once it's paired via Bluetooth with the app, you're good to go. You're up and running. You can use all the features. Here on the main screen, we've got three options. The first two, eCast and eMirror. eCast is basically a way that you can view media from your smartphone inside your Esight. And what that means is any pictures or video that you have on your smartphone, you can view them in the goggles of the Esight 4. And this includes the audio. So if you wanted to watch, you've got a movie on your smartphone, you want to watch it in your headset, you can do that. And the audio will come through the speakers of the headset. Now, it's only pictures and video. You can't go surfing through Facebook or all of that, but you can do that with eMirror. eMirror is just that. It mirrors the screen of your smartphone into the goggles. Now, it's just video. You're not going to get audio, but it's going to have everything on your phone. Like I said, you can search through Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to do. This is also going to be very helpful if, for example, you wanted to read email on your phone. So you'll be able to pinch to zoom and make that email really big, and it's going to show up in your Esight 4. And then the third option on this first screen here is the gallery. We talked about this already. This is where your pictures and your videos that are recorded on the Esight 4, that's where those are going to be found. If I click on My Esight at the bottom right down there, we've got three more options. The first is eShare. This will display the image that the Esight 4 sees. It will display it on your smartphone screen. And it will also show a little controller off to the side. This is going to be great if you want to share your image with family, friends, or if you're working with a trainer, for example. The smartphone will display whatever the Esight 4 sees. Now, this is only over Bluetooth, so there's a range to it. You can't get too far away from the headset or it's not going to work. But our next option, shared access, is not over Bluetooth. It's over the internet. So this is the same thing as eShare, but you can send it all the way across the world if you want. It's a really cool feature, especially right now when all of us are stuck at home and we're doing a lot of remote learning and remote training. And if privacy is a concern, that's no problem. You have to grant that person access to see the image. Then the last item of interest in the app is the virtual remote. You see that this has all the same buttons as the physical remote that comes with the device. So this is the third option for controlling the Esight 4. Okay, and then the last really cool feature that I wanted to talk about quickly is that you can actually plug up a media device and view the media on the Esight 4. And what I mean by that is here on the left side, there's a micro HDMI port. So this means you can take a cable, an HDMI to micro HDMI cable, plug it into this, and then plug the HDMI into some type of media device like a Roku, an Apple TV, a PS4, an Xbox, and then view that content inside the Esight 4 goggles. So the possibilities are really, really cool to explore that. Very entertaining possibilities. Playing your PS4 or your Nintendo Switch games inside the Esight 4. But now I thought it would be really cool to talk with one of the US distributors of Esight. It's my buddy Adampalmer. I've mentioned him on the channel many times before. His company, Palmer Vision, sells assistive technology, especially wearable devices. The really cool thing about Adam, though, is he's a member of the VIP community. Adam has RP himself, and he's not only a distributor of Esight, but he's a user also. Adam, what's up, man? Thanks for talking with me for a minute. So I wanted to chat real quick about Esight 4. I know you're a user of it. What do you think about the new design and the new form factor?
Well, it's a huge improvement compared to the previous devices that are there. And if you look at some of the other devices in the market, you can tell that they took a lot of time to take key parts such as wireless remote controls or nice matte color. It's a slick looking device. The overall design is seamless to what they're trying to improve, and it shows their improvements as they've done it, because I think it's a really good new design.
Yeah, and part of the new design, I think, is the new app. So I'm curious, what do you think about that? How helpful has that been for you?
Well, the new app is actually, being a skeptic of apps and adding more things to my phone and its ability to work with accessibility. I personally have an iPhone 11 and I use VoiceOver for certain things to navigate the high contrast, bold design and seamless design that works along with the device. Made me not have to use my VoiceOver in personal, but I was able to really control the device with a nice hands-free experience.
So you've had it for a while now. I'm sure you've tried it out in a bunch of different situations. With your vision impairment, how helpful has it been? And what kind of situations have you found you using it in?
Well, as you will see, there's a couple of videos of me doing some active things outdoor that was very helpful for me in those situations. A good experience to be able to have some independence with the device. I personally have RP, have a pretty large field of view, but these devices that really encourage those with central vision, that that they're having peripheral loss or central vision, if they need that type of real sharpness to it. I found that the experiences in the grocery store, being able to look over, pick up a can, take a look at the label, look at the price, then raise up the visor part of it a little bit, bring it back down when I need to. But being able to actually use that independence was very nice. Another situation I really found to be helpful in was that I don't have to ask them what's on the menu. That was a really, really independent moment for me when I was using it. It gave me an opportunity to read the menu, interact with the server. So my overall experience in other places was really good.
Well, that's awesome, man. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, you are one of the first US distributors of Esight for your company, Palmer Vision. So if anybody needs some information, wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, it's very simple, Sam. You can go to palmervision.com. That's PALMER vision.com. I have lots of great information on the product and other products that help those in visual impairments. We're a dealer based in the Atlanta area. We cover across the country with lots of different things. In the Esight information, if you have questions about my experience, you go to my contact section of the page. You can either just send me a contact, or you can email me at adampalmer@palmervision.com. We'd be glad to help you any way we can, regardless of the sale part of it. We want to be able to provide you information to give you an informed decision if this is the right product for you.
Okay, guys, so that is Esight 4. Everything, I think I got everything. It does so much. There's probably something I left out accidentally, but you guys get a good idea. Once again, if you want more information, I will have all the contact information down below, all the sources in the description box down below. I recommend reaching out to Esight. I really recommend reaching out to Adampalmer of Palmer Vision. As I said, he's a distributor here in the US. If this is something you're interested in and you think you want to get one, definitely reach out to Adam. He'll definitely be able to help you with that. And since he's a VIP himself, you'll be helping to support someone in the community. Okay, as I promised, I'll give you my thoughts, my opinions about the Esight 4. Number one, most everybody wants to know, how does it work for me? Unfortunately, it doesn't. And this is no surprise. This is kind of what I was expecting. Even though the camera system is improved, the screens and everything are improved, it still just doesn't work for me. But it's not a knock against Esight specifically. This style of headset just traditionally doesn't work well for me. The main problem is that since I have no central vision, I have large blind spots or large drusens, really large drusens. This style with the screens right in front there, it just doesn't work well for me. I need more field of view. I love the style of this, how it's all open like this using your peripheral, but that doesn't work well for me personally. I traditionally have done much better with the VR style headsets, the ones that completely enclose your vision. Because I only have peripheral vision, I rely on it for everything. So if something's open like this, it's very difficult for me to focus on the screens because I'm just constantly looking at the peripheral. So much like blinders on a horse, the VR style that completely encloses the eyes, that works the best for me. That being said, just like I say in every single Esight video and most all of my videos, just because this particular device doesn't work well for me, doesn't mean it's not going to work well for you. I recommend you try it out. Esight has been proven to work for a lot of people, so you might be one of those. In fact, I really hope you are. Now, as a device overall, I think it's really pretty cool. I mean, I could nitpick things here and there. Number one is the halo is not big enough. I have a huge head. You guys maybe don't even realize just seeing me on camera, but this halo, I have it set to the largest setting. The halo is as big as it can get, and it barely fits my head. It would actually be more comfortable for me if it were a little bit larger. That's not a knock on the design. In fact, I hear rumor that they're going to be coming out with a larger size halo. The trainer that I worked with did say that this size halo fits about 90% of head sizes. So I am just an overachiever, I guess, when it comes to head size. I'm in that upper 10%. Something else I had a little bit of problem with was some of the menus. They were a little bit laggy and sometimes kind of froze. I also had some difficulty keeping the remote paired, or it would go to sleep and then it would take a while to wake back up. I also had a little bit of issue pairing my Android device. Now, the trainer I worked with said that maybe my particular version of Android is not fully supported yet. So that may be the problem for that. And a lot of the other, the menus freezing up and lagging, a lot of that can be fixed with future updates. It's just software, so that's easily fixed. And speaking of updates, updates are done through the app and they're free for life. You don't have to pay for software updates. You'll get a notification through the app and that will prompt you to update the software. Another issue I had, which is a critique I've had about Esight all along, is it doesn't seem to have any image stabilization built into the software, built into the camera. And I asked the trainer and he confirmed he was pretty sure it didn't as well. And it's not too bad when you're in some of the minimum zoom magnifications, but when you get into those higher magnification levels, the little micro jitters in the head become very evident, and it's really difficult to focus on what you're looking at when it's the camera shaking around so much. So once again, just something to keep in mind as well. Now, I will say that the physical design of the hardware may be one of my favorite designs of a wearable device so far. With regards to checking all the boxes, it's comfortable, it's got really good weight distribution, so it's not heavy, it's not front heavy, it's not back heavy. And I absolutely love the ability to raise up the visor and get it out of the way so that you have free view of everything around you. So this is going to be fantastic when you're interacting with other people. You can raise it up, talk to them, they can see your face, they don't feel like they're talking to a robot. And then if you need that distance viewing or that magnification, you can just drop it right down. Say you need to read a document or something like that, look at your computer screen, drop it right down, raise it back up to talk to people, drop it back down. Say you're working in the medical field, you got to go into the waiting room to get the patient, you go out there, hello, how's it going? Yeah. Hi, Mrs. Smith. Okay, well, let's look at your chart. Pull it down. Okay, yeah, looks like you're here for a blah, blah, blah procedure. Okay, why don't you follow me? I mean, that is fantastic. And then another benefit of the visor and its design is that everything is open. Even when this visor is down, your peripheral is wide open. So even though this visor is blocking my vision here, I still have my peripheral. I can still pick things up on the table here. I can grab stuff because the peripheral is wide open. This is also going to be very beneficial for people that maybe their temperatures tends to run a little warm. I have a friend, for example, and anytime she tries a wearable device or a VR style headset, it starts to fog up because her internal body temperature is just a little warm, runs a little hot. But a design like this, it's all wide open, you're not going to run into that problem at all. I do have one critique about the visor though, is that you can't raise it with one hand. If you try, it puts a lot of stress on one side. The other side doesn't want to go up at the same rate. I'm a little scared I'm going to damage it. So you really have to do the two-hand raise. And that's kind of a bummer because it seems like I'm always holding something. I've either got a cell phone in my hand or I'm holding my magnifier. And I would love to be able to just raise that up with one hand. You can try to do it in the middle, but it tends to want to pull the halo right off. Okay guys, so that is my overview review of the Esight 4. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I'd love to get your opinions. I want to give a huge thank you to Esight for providing the device for this video, and a big thank you also to adampalmer for helping to coordinate everything. If you like the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you aren't already subscribed to the Blind Life YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to turn on post notifications so you'll be alerted every time I put out a new video. I post a brand new video about vision impairment every Saturday morning. But that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, Sam with the Blind Life. I'll see you next time.